Hello and welcome back. Happy October 1st, which means there are a lot of horror movies coming out this month. It is almost overwhelming, but it is also super exciting because we have a plethora of movies to watch. I usually film a little intro video. However, I am fighting a cold after Fantastic Fest, so best not to be on camera right now. But speaking of Fantastic Fest, a lot of these movies that I will be going over today, I have seen some of them, so I'll put in a little tidbit if I recommend it or just my thoughts on it. But without further ado, let's dive in because there are like 40 plus in here. Curse of the Necklace hits video on demand October 1st. After separating due to his unpredictable alcohol-infused temper, Frank tries to win his wife Laura back by giving her a beautiful antique necklace he finds in an old 1938 evidence bag at the station. Unfortunately, the necklace is a conduit for the tormented soul of an evil boy from long ago, and Laura and her daughters find themselves in terrible danger from a little boy who no longer exists. Down Below hits video on demand October 1st. On the 20th anniversary of the gruesome Christmas Eve murders at St. Agnes Church, a demonic preacher returns to haunt that same town's residents. By the looks of this trailer, it looks to be like a very low budget film, which sometimes those can be some sleeper films, but I'm not quite sure about this one, but I will still hold out hope. The Deserving hits video on demand October 1st. A tormented mute serial killer, haunted by ghosts of his victims, plans to end his life, but his resolve is disrupted when a desperate walk-in client arrives needing an urgent photo shoot. This is another one by the looks of the trailer. I'm not sure how much I will enjoy it, but we will see. Come Home hits video on demand October 1st. Newlyweds Mel and Ikenna abandon their bustling city life after inheriting a secluded family home in the Adirondack Mountains. They seek solace in its isolation, but quickly find their dream of tranquility turning into a nightmare when they are joined by their friends Taylor and Arjun, only to encounter a sinister force that preys upon them one by one. Crackoon, which hits Screambox October 1st. When a synthetically altered street drug is discarded in the woods by a drug dealer during a car chase, the fallout proves nothing less than horrific when an innocent raccoon eats it, transforming into a nightmarish killing machine straight from the bowels of hell. With unsuspecting campers, tourists, and residents of a mountain community all in close proximity to the epicenter, no one is safe from the monster's unrelenting rampage. I had zero expectations for Crackoon, but surprisingly a lot of reviews have come in for it and people are saying it's wildly fun, so I'm intrigued. House of Spoils hits Prime Video October 3rd. It tells the story of a chef who opens her first restaurant where she battles kitchen chaos, a dubious investor, and self-doubt, but the pressure heats up thanks to the spirit of the estate's previous owner who threatens to sabotage her. I actually got to see this one early at Fantastic Fest, and it's light on the horror and it leans more into like the drama mystery aspect of it all, but I think it's really enjoyable during Halloween time because of its witchy vibe. Hold Your Breath, which hits Hulu October 3rd. A young mother in 1930s Oklahoma is haunted by her past and trapped in horrifying dust storms. She becomes convinced that her family is threatened by a mysterious presence and takes extraordinary measures to protect them. This is a horror period piece, and it has Sarah Paulson, so I am very excited. Salem's Lot hits Max October 3rd. Author Ben Mears returns to his childhood home of Jerusalem's Lot, only to discover his hometown is being preyed upon by a bloodthirsty vampire. I am very excited for this one because I absolutely love Stephen King adaptations, and this seems to have this dark, vibey atmosphere, but I've seen a couple of mixed reviews come in, so I am curious how I'm going to feel about this. Frankie Freako hits limited theaters October 4th. After calling a late-night party hotline that promises out-of-this-world fun, uptight yuppie Connor Sweeney must battle the pint-sized forces of evil unleashed through his phone line, led by the maniacal rock and roll goblin Frankie Freako. Now, I did not get to see this one at Fantastic Fest, but a lot of my friends did, and they had a blast with this. It's What's Inside hits Netflix October 4th. A group of friends gather for a pre-wedding party that descends into an existential nightmare when an estranged friend arrives with a mysterious game that awakens long-hidden secrets, desires, and grudges. From what early reviews say, it's best to watch this with a group of people, so I am definitely going to plan a spooky night with all my friends and put this one on. Little Bites, which hits limited theaters and video on demand October 4th. Mindy is a young widow and mother who is trying to protect her daughter Alice from this flesh eating monster. So, Mindy has been secretly sacrificing her own life by allowing the creature to feast on her body as she keeps Alice hidden away at her grandmother's house. Now, this is one I also did not get to catch at Fantastic Fest, but a couple of my friends did. And unfortunately, the consensus was that a lot of people did not like this one because of its very slow pace. So we will find out. Monster Summer hits theaters October 4th. When a mysterious force begins to disrupt their big summer fun, Noah and his friends team up with a retired police detective to embark on a monstrous adventure to save their island. This is definitely the kind of movie that feels like something we grew up watching during Halloween season, so it has this like nostalgic feel to it. So I feel like I'm going to enjoy this one. The Wait hits video on demand October 4th. A gamekeeper takes a bride from a veteran hunter, and weeks later, his whole life falls apart. What looks like the opportunity of a lifetime turns into a macabre descent to hell when he finds out that his misfortune might not have been entirely by chance. This is a Spanish film and it's premiered at several film festivals already, and a lot of people are saying it's very, very creepy, so I'm excited for this. The Platform 2 hits Netflix October 4th. As a mysterious leader imposes their rule in the platform, a new resident becomes embroiled in the battle against this controversial method to fight the brutal feeding system. But when eating from the wrong plate becomes a death sentence, how far would you be willing to go to save your life? This is also a Spanish film, and it's the sequel to The Platform, which came out in 2019, which is also available on Netflix in case you want to watch that one before this one comes out. Operation Blood Hunt, which hits video on demand October 4th. Prolific expert of the occult and whiskey, the Reverend, accompanies a ragtag group of military rejects to a remote South Pacific island to investigate the disappearance of Marine units stationed there in 1944. Upon speaking with island's inhabitants, they soon discovered the Marines had actually been massacred by a group of lycanthropes. VHS Beyond hits Shudder October 4th. 6 blood-curdling tapes unleash horror in a sci-fi-inspired hellscape, pushing the boundaries of fear and suspense. I was at the premiere for this for Fantastic Fest, and I absolutely loved this one. I feel like the VHS movies can kind of be hit or miss sometimes, but this one is very alien-heavy, and it just rips from start to finish. The Radleys hits video on demand October 4th. A seemingly ordinary family harbors a dark secret. They are vampires. They choose not to drink blood despite their natural cravings, but one day their truth comes to light. This is a horror comedy, and I'm usually skeptical of horror comedies, but this one seems super fun. Spin the Bottle hits video on demand October 4th. When a group of friends play Spin the Bottle in a house marked by a brutal massacre, they unknowingly unleash an evil spirit and start dying in terrifying ways. Now, the survivors must stick together to uncover the house's dark secrets and end this bloodshed. Justin Long plays what seems to be like a sheriff in this, and I'm so confused how we haven't heard more about this movie. The Forest Hills hits limited theaters October 4th. Rico is tormented by nightmarish visions after enduring head trauma while camping in the Catskill Mountains. Billy creates a reality of horror for him by persuading Rico to go along with his beliefs, which delve him deeper into despair. This is Shelley Duvall's last role before passing, although she's only in it for a very short while, and I have seen this one, and I have to admit, I did not like this one at all, but who knows, maybe others will. Krazy House, which hits video on demand October 4th. Set in the 1990s, Krazy House follows religious homemaker Bernie and his sitcom family. When Russian workers in Bernie's house turn out to be wanted criminals, Bernie has to man up and save his imprisoned family while slowly going crazy. This is another horror comedy, and by the looks of it, it looks absolutely unhinged. Haunt Season hits video on demand October 8th. A masked maniac targets cast members at a suburban Halloween haunt attraction, turning their staged injuries into gruesome real-life horrors. As the terror escalates, the line between performance and reality blurs. I love when movies take place in Halloween haunts because whenever you're at one, that always crosses your mind. Like, what if this is real or just could take a dark turn at any point? So I'm excited for this. The Unraveling hits video on demand October 8th. A woman believes her husband is an imposter after a brain injury. Haunted by a sinister presence and calls from someone claiming to be her real spouse, she descends into a terrifying ordeal, questioning reality and her mind's stability. I really haven't heard anything about this movie, but I do like the premise of it, so I'm hoping that it's a good one. Haunted Ulster Live hits Screambox October 8th. On Halloween night 1998, a TV veteran teams up with popular children's presenter Michelle Kelly to investigate poltergeist activity in a haunted house in Belfast. A seance causes the broadcast to descend into chaos, and when the youngest child is mysteriously abducted by an unseen force, the two presenters must face their greatest fears on live TV. Caddo Lake, which hits Max on October 10th. When an 8-year-old girl mysteriously vanishes on Caddo Lake, a series of past deaths and disappearances begin to link together, forever altering a broken family's history. Dylan O'Brien in a horror mystery thriller. Sign me up. I have already been seated for this one. Daddy's Head hits Shudder October 11th. A boy and his stepmother fear for their safety after an eerie creature resembling the boy's recently deceased father visits them. This is another one I watched at Fantastic Fest, and let me tell you, this is freaking terrifying. And I absolutely love the director. He is a true gem, so be sure to watch this one. Falling Stars hits video on demand October 11th. On the night of the first harvest, 3 brothers in the American West set out to see a dead witch buried by their friend. When they accidentally desecrate the body, they learn the only way to stop a curse on their family is to burn it before the sunrise. I was able to see this movie at a previous film festival, and it's not your typical horror in the sense that it's scary. It definitely leans more into this like drama, mystical, tense kind of horror, but I loved the world building that this one had. Terrifier 3 hits theaters October 11th. Art the Clown is set to unleash chaos on the unsuspecting residents of Miles County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve. This is another one I saw at Fantastic Fest, and I think Terrifier fans are going to be very pleased. It's crazier and bloodier than ever, I promise you. Mr. Crocket hits Hulu October 11th. A single mother thinks she's found the key to calming down her child, a VHS copy of a strange children's program named Mr. Crocket's World. However, a darker, bloodier secret waits to invade their home from inside the tape. This is based on a horror short that's also available on Hulu. It's actually in Bite Size Halloween Season 3, Episode 10. This is another one I saw at Fantastic Fest. It's very wild, very kooky, and surprisingly bloody. 7 Cemetaries hits video on demand October 11th. A recent parolee gets a Mexican witch to resurrect his old posse so that they can help him save a woman's ranch from a ruthless drug lord. This is a total genre mashup. It's action, it's horror, it's thriller, and it has Danny Trejo in it. I don't know, it seems like it's going to be wild, but I'm kind of all in. All You Need Is Blood hits video on demand October 12th. Bucky is a 16-year-old aspiring director who dreams of becoming the next art house sensation. After a strange meteor crash lands in his backyard and turns his deadbeat father into a brain-eating zombie, Bucky and his friends seize the opportunity to create the ultimate horror flick starring his undead dad. 9 Windows hits video on demand October 15th. After a tragic accident kills her parents, Liza is unable to walk and she spends her days terrorizing vloggers online. When she witnesses a murder online, the police dismiss it as a hoax and it's up to Liza to find the killer. This premise honestly sounds pretty interesting, so I'm excited for this one. Smile 2 hits theaters October 18th. About to embark on a new world tour, global pop sensation Sky Riley begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressure of fame, Sky is forced to face her dark past to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control. This is a big year for fictional pop stars in horror movies, I feel like. I Will Never Leave You Alone hits video on demand October 18th. After being released from prison, a brooding man with a dark past is forced to stay in a haunted house to clear it of its spirits. If he leaves, he goes back to prison, but the witch ghost may be more punishment than he can withstand. This is brought to us by Dark Sky Films, and I gotta say, they've been rolling out some bangers this year, so I have high hopes for this one. Children of the Pines hits video on demand October 18th. Riley, a junior in college, is persuaded by her estranged parents to visit during winter break. only to find that they have taken up a supernatural practice in order to fix the deep rooted issues plaguing their family. Rippy, or The Red, hits video on demand October 18th. Young police officer Maddie is determined to live up to her deceased father's legacy. Her courage is put to the test, though, when locals are found brutally ripped to shreds by a zombie kangaroo. As the undead beast leaves a trail of carnage, Maddie and her eccentric uncle and her resilient aunt must embark on a high stakes battle to save the town. This plot is absolutely bonkers. I am all in. Rumours hits limited theaters October 18th. En route to the annual G7 summit, the 7 leaders of the world's wealthiest liberal democracies get lost in the woods and face increasing peril while attempting to draft a provisional statement regarding a global crisis. This is another horror comedy, but it leans into like the apocalyptic horror side of the genre, so it seems like it's going to be a good time. Die Alone hits theaters October 18th. This tells the story of a young man who has amnesia, and he bands together with a rugged survivalist in this zombie like outbreak to find his girlfriend. This looks like it's going to have a lot of twists, a lot of turns, maybe a couple of surprises. And I love any movie that has to do with like recovering lost memories or amnesia for some reason. Mads, which hits Shudder on October 18th, this movie follows a teenager who stops off to see his dealer to test a new drug before heading off to a party. On the way home, he picks up an injured woman, and the night takes a very surreal turn. This French film doesn't quite have a trailer yet, but I feel like one should be coming since it will be releasing soon. However, I do know that it's shot in one continuous shot, so I think that'll be interesting. Ghost Game, which hits video on demand October 22nd, participating in an internet challenge that requires breaking into homes and living undetected alongside the residents, a thrill-seeking couple target an infamous haunted house and endure a series of chilling incidents as they witness the family descending into madness. This is another one I saw a while back at a film festival, and it just was unfortunately not for me. It might be for other people, but I know I was not a fan of it. Carved, which is speculated to hit Hulu on October 21st, a heartbroken teenage playwright, her younger brother, and a group of survivors who have become trapped in a historical reenactment village on Halloween night must band together to survive a relentless attack by a sentient and vengeful pumpkin. This doesn't have an official trailer yet. This footage is actually from the short that it's based off of, but a lot of articles are saying that it's coming out on the 21st, so if so, we should be expecting a trailer very soon. Your Monster hits theaters October 25th. After her life falls apart, a soft-spoken actress, Laura Franco, finds her voice again when she meets a terrifying yet weirdly charming monster living in her closet. It's a romantic comedy horror film about falling in love with your inner rage. I'm excited to see Melissa Barrera again on screen this year, and early reviews have come in and people are freaking loving this one. Don't Move hits Netflix October 25th. A grieving woman hoping to find solace deep in an isolated forest encounters a stranger who injects her with a paralytic agent. As the agent gradually takes over her body, she must run, hide, and fight for her life before her entire nervous system shuts down. Amityville, Where the Echo Lives, hits video on demand October 29th. When paranormal investigator Heather West receives a call from a terrified woman who claims her house is inhabited by a ghost, she discovers the building has a horrifying history. After a presence from beyond our world reaches out to her, Heather begins to feel a pull to the other side of the spirit plane. I am very skeptical of this one. They have made a lot of Amityville style movies, and I feel like none of them are ever good. Time Cut hits Netflix October 30th. A teen in 2024 accidentally time travels to 2003 just days before a masked killer murders her sister, and now we're faced to wonder if she can change the past without destroying the future. I absolutely love concepts like this, so I am especially excited for this one. We also don't have a trailer for this one yet, but I'm expecting for it to land soon. Director's Cut hits limited theaters October 31st. A Long Island punk band meets a mysterious director through social media who generously offers to shoot their first music video for free. Desperate for fame, they drive deep into the Pennsylvania woods in hopes of making a killer music video. But after a long night of drinking with the director, the band wakes up to find a very different version of him on set. And little does the band know they are going to be the stars of his next killer film. And there you have it, all of the horror movies that will be coming out this month. There are so many. I think that was like, what, 45 of them? I am super excited that our month is just going to be filled with a bunch of good releases. And that's not even including television releases, because I know that Peacock's Teacup will be coming out. I've actually seen the first 2 episodes of that at Fantastic Fest, and that was freaking incredible. So if you're a fan of From, I think you'll also like that. But be sure to leave in the comments which movies you are most excited to catch this October, and I will see you in the next video.